Welcome to the first episode of the ProdCast by Jupitice. This is where we bring to you real conversations by people who are building systems that power justice, legal, and governance at scale. And today with us, we have someone who's been quietly building exactly the same. So today we're joined by Achin, who is a platform architect and a product head at Jupitice. With over a decade of experience of designing large-scale systems wherein technology, law, and operations collide, Achin has worked across government-facing systems and very complex B2B products. So, Achin, a very warm welcome to the show.
Thank you, Stuti. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, before we get into the product and the platforms that you're building, I just wanted to take a step back. So, you started your career as a software engineer, and gradually with time you transitioned into platform building and product strategy at scale, which of course must have not been a very linear journey. So I just wanted you to take us through this transition of the initial stage of being a developer to a platform architect and a product head.
Sure. So I actually started off quite early, incidentally, even in high school as well. So how I started off was that my school wanted a website. So that gave me a perfect opening. I was able to, get all the information I wanted, get some books from the library because I didn't even have access to the internet back then. So I was able to collect all that information, create a website, publish it. And then school recognized the website, they launched it, gave me an award. And that was essentially the beginning of my journey.
Back when you were just in school?
It was, yes. I actually remember I had pre-boards just before the website launched.
Okay, that's great.
So yeah, it was a fun conversation in home, but yeah.
Definitely.
Then from that, I started off during the college. I had my a number of different projects, including I built a system for schools where schools were able to keep a track of their student data, their attendance, their report cards, and all those things. So that gave me a lot of exposure in how I can, build user-friendly systems that can be used by teachers, by parents, and all those things. And then that also led me into onboarding a number of different schools from back where I lived. And that sort of led me into a very initial path of designing products. So because that was a one-man thing, I was only doing it by myself. So
if you don't mind me asking, where are you from?
So I am from Mohali, if you know the stadium. That is where it is from.
And you built up a website back then, which means there must have been some sort of internet. You must have had internet.
So actually no. So I learned everything from the books. I did not have access to an internet. And that also instilled in me a very fundamental and deep understanding of. At least that's how I like to think of it as, of how systems work, how to design a system, or how to get a couple of layers deep into the system. Not just be a superficial platform. That is how it is. And then even beginning from that, that led me into college. In college, I had a number of projects that I did. These were mostly hobby projects, but then that very quickly transitioned into my very first internship that I had. So during that internship, I was able to collect information about how my team back then was working. I was able to convert a pre-existing system into a product. So that is, I think, the crucial key here, because I was able to transition their existing, messed up systems into a cohesive architecture, and then convert it into a single platform that can be, we can onboard people onto the platform. It was an analytical platform for creating reports and BIs and dashboards and such. So we were able to onboard the team. I also convinced the CEO back then to convert it into a platform, give me the team, and then finally also release it as an open source system as well. So that is what led me to have the confidence and the systems in place to build out the system from the ground up. And that is how it is.
So that kind of exposure becomes very crucial at a place like Jupitice, wherein the products, they don't just serve one user, of course. They have to work across different teams, frameworks, and institutions also. And when you're working at that scale, I think one thing becomes very, very crystal clear, that nothing exists in isolation. So whatever one decision or action that one takes, it doesn't stay with one team or an institution. So Achin, every business transaction life cycle, whether it be a contract, whether it be a compliance action, whether it be a grievance, a legal framework, a legal notice, it creates a certain kind of a ripple. And that ripple, it moves across various multiple departments and also legal frameworks. So that ripple, it moves across multiple departments and sometimes also legal frameworks. So when we talk about large institutions and even governments, they deal in thousands and sometimes even millions of such transactions. So how do you think, how do we manage this ripple end to end today? And also, where is it that most systems they break?
So Sudhi, I believe the reason or for the breakage in the system is the fragmentation of it all. So essentially what happens is, as a business, I have a specific flow or transactions that I have to do. And whenever information related to those is broken up or fragmented within various departments, within various systems, which can be both digital as well as physical, that is when the issue or the breakage happens. And that further has a number of different consequences related to it, because the information is in silos, the team is not up to date. So maybe one person of your team knows of a certain development, but the other or the rest of the team is not aware of it. That leads to a number of different issues, delays, misunderstandings, and a lot of other things as well. And what also becomes a challenge is how do you address it? Because analyzing it, going through the numbers is a very comprehensive task. It is a very resource intensive task.
Right.
You will need a large data set, a large team to be able to make any kind of sense out of the data that you have, and then also take any further corrective actions on it. So essentially, yes, fragmentation and silos are the root of the break in the system.
Okay, so what you're saying is that volume isn't the problem, but it's actually the absence of a unified system, which is why, because
Absolutely.
it cannot be a continuous process.
Absolutely.
So this now brings me to my very obvious question, that what is Jupitice transaction lifecycle management system?
So what we have done is essentially we've gone ahead and since we are also a business as well, you also have transaction as well, and we also have a very comprehensive team of experts, which involves legal experts, domain experts like accountants and such. So what we've done is we've created a comprehensive transaction lifecycle system. Okay. So for that, let me very quickly go through what a transaction is. So for any business to be able to have a transaction, what that means is they are able to have a contract. Then from that contract, that they will deliver the goods or services that they're supposed to deliver. If for whatever reason there is a dispute on it, because that is, by the way, is a very common occurrence. Almost every business has disputes.
Definitely.
And once they are converted into the disputes, then there are a number of different ways to handle it. So at the very first step of it, after the contract, is the grievance, because that is a very sort of soft way of handling your dispute. What you would do is the person with whom you have the contract, they'll raise a grievance, and then your grievance redressal team will be able to address it. Ideally, if everything is going well, they will close the matter then and there. Otherwise, if it escalates, then you will have to get into more comprehensive ways of dealing with your dispute. Now, these can be starting from things like, you might want to settle those out of the court through various mediums like mediation, or if your contract allows it, even arbitration as well. If your contract does not have an arbitration clause, then it will escalate into litigation. Then it will go to courts. Right. And then after the courts, it will then loop back. You will have to essentially go for execution processes. So that's a very long chain of events or processes that you have to go through as a business to be able to recover maybe money or recover your time or whatever investment you have in the contract, you will lose that.
Right. So now that we've already discussed what a transaction lifecycle management is, I would really want you to walk us through the workflow and as to how does it actually function.
So what we have done is essentially we've, as I said, split the entire transaction lifecycle into segments. Now these segments evolve from the initial contract that you have. This can be with anyone. It can be your vendor, your client. Any business at the end eventually does contracts, and everything then stems out of the contract itself. Right. So the very first thing is the contract. For that, we have the contract lifecycle management system.
Okay.
Now the contract system allows the people who are managing the contracts to be able to organize the contracts, go through them, even use artificial intelligence systems to extract data or metadata from the contracts, and then also intelligently manage their entire inventory. So that is the very first part, the contract management system. Then after that, it might transition into a grievance. So for that, we have a grievance management system. Now, grievance management system, so since this is part of a whole workflow, that means it is intelligently integrated, not just backward into the contract, but also further into the subsequent sections of the workflow. That means information flow is fluent. The data that your organization might have is flowing fluently through the system. There's no need for submitting forms and such. Whatever thing essentially creates a backlog or a bottleneck for your team to organize your work, that is taken care of in the entire system. So once the grievance, if it is resolved, that is well and good. Otherwise, we will escalate and it will go to a collection team. So almost every business that operates in any manner of scale will have a collection team. It might be a dual purpose team where some people within your team are, acting as some kind of a collection mechanism, or you might have a full-fledged department. So the system that Jupitice has built is created to cater to all manner of scale of a system, of an organization. So whether even if you have 5 people within your team or 50 or 500, you can utilize the system. And specifically when it comes to collection itself, we are doing a lot of automation. This automation involves things like automatic campaigns. Those campaigns will have follow-up campaigns, and they are also multilingual as well. We have taken care of all of the localization capabilities that you might need, including things such as making it more interactive, more informative. The goal is at the end to make the end user, or rather the citizen in this case, informed about what is happening, what are the steps, and what happens if they are not able to resolve a dispute. So we have a gentle hand that is able to nudge the people for increased collection rates. Mm-hmm. That is the collection system. If it is resolved in that, perfect, well and good. If it again escalates, then it will go to further systems. Now, depending upon what the scenario or the situation is, it might go to a conciliation system, or you might be sending legal notices, mm-hmm. or you might be having an arbitration. Again, it depends upon, since the system is dynamic, it adapts to the organization at hand. What I like to say to my team is, the organization does not need to adapt to the system adapts to the organization. Okay. So that is I think the key here, because what happens from this is entirely dependent upon how deep the organization wants to involve into the system. Mm-hmm. Typically, in our experience, what we've taken care of is legal notices are sent. These notices are sent through the legal notice management system that we have. Okay. This system is able to generate notices in bulk, again in multiple languages. They are sent through multiple mediums like SMS, email, WhatsApp. We also do tracking of any links that are part of the notices. So if someone receives a notice, they have a link within the notice, they can click on it, and then we do a number of analysis and further intelligent processes to ensure that we are able to increase or maximize the recovery rate that there is. So that is the legal notice management system. And then after the notice, as I said, it might be leading to an arbitration or a conciliation. If there's a pre-existing contract, and the contract will almost always have an arbitration clause. Mm-hmm. So that arbitration clause will lead the further journey of the system. We can send out, after the legal notice, an arbitration notice, then the appointment of arbitrators, and all of this is done on the arbitration platform that Jupitice has. The entire arbitration process as well. The entire end-to-end system happens. Okay. So the entire process, starting from the initial notice, mm-hmm. Until the final award, any corrections you might want in the award. So everything end-to-end happens on the platform. Okay. So that has been the key for us. And even that is something that has led us to great success with the clients. We've worked with the other teams, other departments that have told us clearly that okay, automation has actually brought real difference in their processes. So that is the arbitration part. And then it might also go to conciliation as well, depending upon where it is. We also have an ODR, which is online dispute resolution system, which is essentially a combination of a number of different things. So it will start with mediation. If mediation is able to resolve it, so in mediation there's no third party. There are only two people. So
Right.
the organization and the person against whom the grievance or the issue is, they are able to settle down the grievance by setting it on a table and coming onto the same terms amicably, essentially. That is the mediation system. If after the mediation again it is not resolved, it will escalate to conciliation or arbitration, depending upon how the contract clause is structured. And then the arbitration, after the arbitration, we are able to escalate it again to litigation, again if needed. So I think a pattern you are able to see in this entire process is everything is escalation based. Our goal is not to have more litigation; it is to have less litigation.
Right.
And I believe that is a vision we share with all of the courts of almost every country in the world. No one wants more litigation.
Right.
So the entire transaction lifecycle management system is architected in a way that discourages escalation, that encourages amicable settlement, and that I think is something that the system is actually able to achieve in the end. So I was at litigation. So essentially, what will happen is the litigation management system will integrate with the courts. We are able to fetch data that is publicly available. We can get orders, judgments, and all those things. We can notify the right people within your organization. If, for example, you are having a number of litigation, as any organization has of any kind of scale, they will always have litigation. So being aware of where the litigation is, what is happening in that litigation, that is a very key aspect in our experience of a number of our clients, because one commonly occurring issue that almost all of the clients face is they are not even aware that there's a litigation against them. Maybe they are made aware of it too late. They are not able to reply in time. That leads to ex parte orders within the courts. So again, a number of different consequences with one single root cause of not being aware. So that is also where we add a ton of value as well with a number of different clients. We're able to notify them of any litigation, any notices, orders that might be coming either in their cases or against them, and then they can again take action on it. Now the action that they take is also being done on the platform itself.
Okay.
So that is where again the end-to-end part comes in. We don't want anything off the platform, because the more activities happen off the platform, the more out of sync your team is.
Right.
The more delayed any response time might be, and of course that leads into bad policy making at an organization level as well. So to be able to generate dashboards, reports, BIs out of the data of any team's legal department is a key aspect, I believe, of managing a litigation effectively. So that is the litigation management system, in which you are able to not just get court updates, but also, of course, then manage litigation, have petitions, have a number of AI features as well. You're able to transcribe any conversations you have. You are able to have meetings with your team, collaborate with them. If, for example, a lawyer and their team is creating a petition document or a response document, they are able to generate it on the system. They're able to manage it on the system, get internal approvals if needed, because we have multi-level approval within the system. Again, not just for litigation management system, but across the board for all the products that I've talked about until now. So that is the litigation part. After the litigation, we have further systems. So, for example, we also have a SurfaceC management system. So, SurfaceC Act allows banks to be able to enhance their recovery. So we have an end-to-end system for that as well. So that is for a specific subset of our clients that are able to engage the SurfaceC Act. So again, end-to-end system, the data automatically and fluently flows through the litigation management system into the Surface system. And after the Surface, what happens is finally there's compliance. So the compliance part is quite critical. So this may not necessarily only be for litigation, but a business will have a number of different compliances.
Right.
As you might know, it might be for an order or a judgment that they've received, but it might also be statutory compliances as well. That they will be responsible for conducting. So these are things like, very basic things like tax returns, any returns of any specific processes that you might have. So these can be manufacturing processes. These can be, if you're a textile company, then you will have to adhere to a number of different standards. If you're a food company, then you will also have to adhere to standards. You will have to do audits. You will have to have compliance reports. If you're a tech company, you will need security audits. So these are all various different compliances that almost all businesses are exposed to, that almost all businesses are expected to do. And what we have is a compliance management system, which is sort of the other end. So if we are starting, from the contract management system, we are ending at the compliances. So compliances ensure us, as a business, that the business is aware of any due compliances. If there are, then what is the deadline of that compliance? Again, we are integrating with a number of different publicly available sources to bring in that data, organize it, and then we allow businesses to be able to track exactly what compliances they want to be notified of. And then also, essentially at the end, be able to track if a compliance is done, who is responsible for the compliance, when it was done, and also other things such as uploading or organizing evidences or reports of compliances and all those things. So again, an end-to-end system for a business, data flowing from a single place, no silos. We don't. So essentially, what mostly happens is systems or the departments are storing their data in a number of different applications. These applications can be, maybe they have an email server, or maybe they are storing their files on a local device. Maybe they have certain online document storage services that they are subscribed to. So that fragments their data, that splits the data.
Right.
They will always have a calendar, maybe, and even we've seen people that are entirely hybrid. So they will have their calendar physically present in their office. So again, it can be a productivity boost, but that deprives your team of having the same set of information that you have. So that, I believe, is a very critical thing. And so the entire process that the Jupitice team has built is to ensure that none of these things happen. The data flows smoothly. Data is readily available. It is most up-to-date data that your team might have access to. And that I believe has done wonders for our clients.
And all of that data in one place.
All of the data in one place. Absolutely. That is the key.
Traceable, so that it is available to the entire team at once as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So to summarize the entire workflow, if you have to put the transaction lifecycle management into a flowchart, how would that be?
So Stuti, starts with the contract management system, as I said. So in which you will manage the entire life cycle of the contract.
Right.
It will then lead to a grievance management system for handling or managing or organizing all of the grievances that you receive. It will then escalate into a debt collection or a debt recovery system with all the automatic campaigns and such. Then it will escalate to a legal notice system, in which the system you can generate a number of legal notices, send it out through multiple mediums. Then, depending upon the contract, it might lead to an arbitration or a conciliation or ODR, which is out of court settlement. If none of those work out, then you will go to the litigation management system. In the litigation management system, we get data from the courts. You will manage the litigation. Then it will lead into the compliance management system. That is the final end of it, in which the compliance is not just from the courts, but any manner of general corporate or enterprise compliances that you might have, you can manage them on the system.
Okay, so from our recent, just this discussion, you mentioned about AI. And globally, AI has been transforming operations across various industries.
Absolutely.
But when we talk about transaction lifecycle management, we're dealing with governance across at a very massive scale. So, how do you see the AI playing its role in this?
So what AI has been doing is essentially transforming, across the board.
Yeah.
The transformation is real. It is happening. There's no denying it. Very early on, we got on the wagon. We realized the value that AI can add into a system such as the Jupitice's transaction lifecycle management system. So it is ingrained into the DNA of the system.
Okay.
So all of the services that I've talked about until now, all of the solutions that we've built, they are either built on top of AI or they are very heavily powered by AI itself. So any kind of automation that I was talking about, any kind of intelligence in the system that I was talking about, that is more or less in one form or another powered by AI itself. So essentially, what we do is by the manner of, let's say, a couple of examples, I can showcase it to you how we are able to utilize AI. So starting with the contract, right? Any organization, they will always have legacy contracts. They will have contracts that they are currently organizing right now. So our goal, as a solution provider, is not just to sell it to small or young companies, right? We support onboarding of a whole manner of different of companies of belonging to a number of different domains as well. So we don't just cater to new contracts, but we also have to take care of migration of existing data for not just the contract, but the entire lifecycle management system processes and products. So in case of the Jupitice's contract lifecycle management system, we are able to extract data from the contracts. These extractions are done both through LLM based systems as well, which we support of inherently within the system. But we also have data extraction through other frameworks such as entity recognition systems, and then we also do AI for summarizations, for question and answers. So these are more general AI solutions that are available across the board, again, for not just contract but for litigation, for compliances, for arbitration, for mediation. In case of arbitration, we are able to generate or extract data from petitions for the arbitrators, and same with the mediators as well. They can ask questions organically to the system, and the system is able to respond to them, to their queries. Not just as a simple text-based search, but also the system understands what they're trying to ask.
Okay.
And that also is very user-friendly and accessible as well. So what that means is people can simply come and ask it in any language that they want. The system is able to respond in their native language, irrespective of what the document is natively in. So you might upload an English document, and the system is able to read it, answer the documents in any language that you want. It can even dictate those answers. You can talk to it as a human. So if you've seen, I'm sure you have. So if you've seen familiar with, let's say, Jarvis in Iron Man, so you're able to talk to it, right? So that is the flow here. We want people to be able to engage with the platform as if it was a member of the team, not something that they go to complete a formality, right? That is how software has been used traditionally, right? You do the work and then you feed it in the system. That is not the methodology here. The goal is that the system is a part of your team. The system is able to interact with you. It is able to ask you questions. You're able to answer them. And then it is able to add some real tangible value beyond just a data entry system or a information aggregation system. That is not the flow here. That is not what we want.
So Achin, in 2026, which industries do you think will benefit the most from Jupitice's transaction lifecycle management system?
See, sectors like BFSI, NBFCs, telecom, manufacturing. So I'm saying manufacturing, for example, because they have a number of different contracts, and those contracts almost eventually lead to a certain type of a dispute, that will definitely perfectly fit or align with the Jupitice's transaction lifecycle management system. But I think more than that, what the platform does is it cuts across the industry's sectors, right? Because we are able to cater to legal departments. There might be other departments within almost every organization. These are head of legals, they're lawyers, litigation people. They are absolutely able to utilize the system. They can, they can get real-time updates. They can use AI to, speed up the work, automate processes, ask questions, a number of different other things as well.
So, whatever enterprise, institution, whichever it is, in today's era, every institution has a legal team. So basically,
Absolutely.
this is for everyone.
Exactly, it is.
Okay. So before we wrap things up, we're going to lighten up the mood a bit. We're going to have 2 quick fun rounds.
Okay.
The first one will be a rapid fire round, where you'll have to answer the first thing that clicks in your mind.
Okay.
No overthinking.
Done.
Are we ready?
Done.
Okay. So your first question is, what's the product you're most proud of building at Jupitice?
So that will be litigation management system. So I can justify my choice. So essentially, that is something that is all encompassing, right? It starts off with the external data that is coming in. The scale of operations are also there. So I do have a technical background, right? So what that means is I also enjoy not just building products, but also getting my hands dirty with the system itself. So that is why I'm able to sort of, you can say, enjoy the process of managing such a large data set. Then also it comes down to other things like AI. So in fact, AI-based extraction is something that we started off within a litigation management system. So
clearly you've managed to make a fun round also very insightful. So let's move on to the next question.
Sure.
Which team keeps you on your toes the most? Tech, legal, marketing, or HR?
So I might say HR, but to be honest, a lot of my time is spent with the tech team, and they are the ones that I get probably the most friction for.
Okay, so moving on. One thing you would automate today, if you could?
That will definitely be printouts. I've seen the litigation team working with a lot of paperwork. So I either want to get rid of it or at least automate it to save their time.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, now morning meetings or late night fixes?
Definitely late night. I don't have to think about it twice.
Oh, are you
I'm not a morning person. Not at all. Not at all.
That explains why. Okay, so most overused phrase in product meetings?
It is probably also the most insightful one as well, end to end. So that is the core. That is also the most used one as well.
So now shall we move on to the next segment?
Yes, please.
Okay, the next segment is Never Have I Ever.
Okay.
I'm sure you must have heard of it.
I have.
So where you'd have to tell me whether you've done it or not.
Okay.
Our first question for this segment would be, never have I ever fixed something in the product 5 minutes before a demo.
I have.
Okay, so our next question. Never have I ever taken a final product call knowing it would upset at least one of the stakeholders.
Again, I have. So basically the stakeholders that are typically upset are either the sales team or my own team.
Okay. Next question is, never have I ever walked into a leadership or investor meeting knowing the product was still evolving.
See, that is the hustle of the startup. I have, but in a way that I am confident that I can deliver it. I have what I wanted, but yes, that has happened.
Okay. Next on we have, never have I ever taken a decision that looked risky in the short term but proved fruitful in the hindsight.
Absolutely. So essentially the workflow engine itself, if I were to look at, when I say workflow engine, it is the engine that runs the system, right? So initially, if we were looking at it, it was quite risky because it had a lot of upfront investment in terms of time and effort. But I believe we can agree that it has paid off.
Okay, so never have I ever fixed something during the demo and hoped that no one noticed.
I have, and I've been largely successful in that as well. And see, that is when typically when we're prototyping, very advanced systems. For demos, for presentations, we've had presentations with a number of dignitaries as well. So that has been sort of the mode of demoing.
Would you say once or more than once?
More than once in the last week.
Okay. So never have I ever renamed a bug as known limitation.
So I see that you are coming from a tech background only, because that is a very typical tech thing that tech people do. So yeah, absolutely, yes, we have done it. Convincing either the team or even certain times the clients that okay, this thing is actually a feature, not a bug, right? It is, yes. It's a meme, but it is, yes.
Okay. Never have I ever opened a deck and realized the roadmap had already changed.
So working with a team, yes, it has happened. And the roadmap is typically changed for the good, but it has. And we've been able to, not just me, but the team has been able to adjust accordingly on the fly. I am proud of the team of that.
All's well that ends well.
Absolutely.
So for the last question we have, never have I ever postponed release by calling it a strategic recalibration.
Okay, so that one, I would say I have not yet. Yeah.
Okay.
Probably the only no that you've received.
Yeah, probably.
See, the reason that has not happened is we like to be ahead of the curve, in the sense that the engine, at least the team or I try to get all the features in place before the demand comes in. So that is why we've been very early in the AI game as well.
I really appreciate your honesty of mentioning not yet.
Not yet. Not yet. It might happen eventually, but at least not yet.
Okay. So to summarize the entire podcast, you walked us through how the transaction lifecycle management system it flows from the contract agreement stage, be it grievance stage, be it the collection management stage, be it the litigation management stage, settlement stage, conciliation, even legal notice, and even surfacing, depending upon the client or the business's need.
Correct.
And you also walked us through how you've integrated AI in your systems and your platforms, and the industrial impact of AI, and that AI not just merely being a summarization tool, but being an absolute part of your entire system at, in fact, not just one but every stage. So is there any last bit that you would want to add now?
I think yes. One key bit is, we work even beyond the life cycle system to be able to accommodate clients. So essentially what we do is, I briefly touched upon the engine that we have. The blueprint engine, so to speak, what it does is it allows us to, build or generate systems out of a system. So we are able to customize the system according to the client's requirements. So maybe they want to move the pieces around like a puzzle, right? From the lifecycle system.
Okay.
Because every business is unique. They may not have the need for a conciliation system, or they may not need a debt collection platform. So they'll need the wires to be connected accordingly. So we do all of that. We do customizations as part of the delivery of the system. And that is also, I think, the key place where our customers, are able to see the most value extracted out of the system, because they come to us and they say that, okay, Jupitice, I have this system, and what can you do for me? So that is when we come in, we pick up all of this infrastructure that we have, and then we deploy it at their end.
Okay.
To sum it up, I would say that, transaction at a business is not just a mere movement of paper, right? It is the backbone of how an organization works. So we wanted to be able to cater to that. Essentially that is what we at Jupitice do.
Okay. Thank you so much, Achin, for being here with us, for sharing your journey and your perspective with us.
Thank you, Stuti.
This was the Jupitice ProdCast. I'm your host, Stuti. Do like, share, and comment. And stay tuned with us for the next episode where we'll deep dive into litigation management system.